The story takes place in a futuristic civilization called Panem, where the government capital organizes an annual competition known as the Hunger Games. One boy and one girl, referred to as tributes, are chosen to participate in a televised deathmatch from each of the 12 districts. The main character, Katniss Everdeen, offers to replace her sister Prim as the District 12 female tribute.
I volunteer as tribute!
Katniss must negotiate the deadly challenges of the Hunger Games arena with her fellow tribute Peeta Mellark while avoiding both man-made and natural hazards. The story explores themes of survival, sacrifice, and rebellion against the repressive capital. As the game progresses, Katniss emerges as a rebel against the capital's rule and grows to become a symbol of resistance.
Kant's Ethics is a philosophical framework developed by Immanuel Kant that emphasizes the importance of reason, autonomy, and the moral law in determining moral actions and decisions. In the context of the Hunger Games, Kant's categorical imperative suggests that individuals should never use people only as a means to their ends, but always treat them as they freely and rationally consent to be treated, and help them pursue their freely and rationally chosen ends. This was based on the idea that humans have a dignity that makes them different from mere objects. So in this scene, the capital had forcefully chosen Primrose, a young little girl which is also Katniss' little sister. And when this happened, Katniss immediately volunteered herself to take her sister's place and to protect her from the Hunger Games.
Is it possible to occur? Well, the Hunger Game itself has low chance of occurring as it goes against all of our belief toward morality and ethics, especially in our religion. Besides, the game itself is against the human right and justice which we had implemented for a very long time. Katniss, however, who have the capacity to understand the outcome by becoming the tribute, are willing to replace her sister as a volunteer. This act of care shown by her has shown us that no action can justify the act of robbing someone else's freedom.
Is the sacrifice made by Katniss for her sister and the games made by the capital necessary? Katniss Everdeen's sacrifice for her sister in the Hunger Games is a fictional situation, and whether such sacrifices are necessary in real life depends on the circumstances. In the context of the story, Katniss' decision to volunteer as a tribute in place of her sister reflects a complex set of emotions, love, and a desire to protect her family. Sacrifices should be consensual, legal, and consider alternatives guided by ethical principles like respect for autonomy and the well-being of all involved. In the real world, the concept of the Hunger Games is not necessary or ethical, violating basic human rights and justice. It goes against the values of a fair and compassionate society.
Next, I'm going to talk about relation between this bioethics and religion. In general, religion teaches us to be good and treat everyone fairly and nicely. For example, in Islamic context, the Prophet Muhammad SAW advised his followers to treat others as how they like others to treat them. Furthermore, Islam encouraged Muslims not only to treat people with justice, but to treat others better than how they treat them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, ayat 34, "Nor can goodness and evil be equal. Repel with what is better."
A case study is conducted at one of the private colleges in Kuantan, Pahang. The aim of this research is to analyze ethical issues concerning business ethics using semi-structured interview method with college staff and students. In this case, some students reported during academic section that there are some staffs promoting and selling their side business product during class. Morally, this action is considered as wrong because the staff should not mix their full-time work with their business. They should maintain their professionalism as academicians and being smart to manage their time. This culture or issues can be seen to be opposing Kant's first formulation that say us as human beings, we should only do something if we are able to accept it if other people were to do the act to us. This requires universality and reversibility consideration.
To conclude, The Hunger Games in Suzanne Collins' fictional world raises questions about whether such sacrifices are necessary in real life. The protagonist, Katniss Everdeen, sacrifices herself for her sister Prim despite facing hardship and endangering her life. The creation of the games goes against human rights and justices, as seen in ancient Rome's use of slaves, prisoners, and wild animals for entertainment. Ethical precepts like respect for autonomy, fairness, and welfare of all parties concerned should guide voluntary and consensual sacrifices.
Strange things